Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It's Thursday, June 30th, last podcast of the month. We are about halfway, well, maybe a little less than halfway through the summer period, and it's been a busy and interesting week on numerous fronts. Tonight, we're going to talk about our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct, which I think we can all agree was stronger than I was expecting.
Yeah.
From a Nintendo Partner Direct Mini.
Like, we can talk about it more when we get to it, but
right,
I went in with, I think, reasonable expectations, and I was, it exceeded where my reasonable expectations were.
I agree. Jeff, did you watch the Direct at all?
I caught like the I don't know. I skimmed.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff from the Direct. A lot of good stuff from the Direct is going to be like multi-plat, to be honest with you, since none of it was Nintendo first party. I mean,
to me, the biggest thing was like the Persona stuff, which I'm sure was probably the big thing to most people. But
yeah,
there's another game in there that we'll get into that I think is really, really your thing. But
there's a couple things in there. But
yeah,
we'll get to it.
We can get to all that. We're also going to talk about, guys, leave devs alone. We're going to talk about shitty.
This has been a weird fucking week for people being weird to game devs. Y'all just don't.
We are going to talk about.
The internet was a fucking mistake.
It really was, and we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of how to ask questions of your favorite developer and what not to do.
Are we gonna play some Goofus and Gallant?
We might, yeah. Fuck it, we might do that. That's the first time I've ever heard that term, Derek. But I want you to know I fucking love it.
You've never seen like old Goofus and Gallant? Okay,
no.
Well
I have no idea what that means.
See, I feel like that's a reference that you're old enough to have gotten. But I digress.
Thank you, Derek.
Continue.
Derek, what else do we have in the docket tonight?
Well, it's going to depend on how we're doing for time. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been playing, which we haven't had time to do in a few shows because it's been such busy news weeks. But combination of this not being the world's biggest news week alongside the fact that there's just the three of us this week means we're going to have some time.
Britt might show up.
Britt might join.
Let's be clear about that.
If you look on the show, for those who are watching, which is not most people are listening, so this is completely lost on them, and I'm wasting so much time even as I continue to explain how this is worth nothing.
Keep going.
Yeah, please.
The bottom left of the screen where we're talking about the cast, this is bottom row, Jeff, and then Britt, maybe? Because we might have a Britt. She's in the
Perhaps
call. Perhaps
Britt might show up. She might not.
Yeah, she had work stuff that's going to put her right up against the line. So
until you listen to the podcast, Britt is both here and not here.
Yeah, it's Schrodinger's Britt.
Really, in the Sylvia Plath sense of the phrase, Jeff, all of us are here and yet not here.
See, John, you embody this image of being such a fucking idiot, and then you just casually drop Sylvia Plath, like.
See, Derek, I only play a fucking big himbo idiot on Twitter.
You might be the closest thing to Archer. And I mean that in a derogatory sense.
Wow. Derek, I'm actually quite intelligent.
I know you are. You just play an idiot for the internet for laughs.
90% of it is me going for laughs. Yes, that's correct. Look at these slick glasses here. Like what a man wearing glasses.
Your fucking gunners.
My gunners. But they make me look intelligent. They add to the illusion. And I got one more question for the group here before we get into what we've been playing. I want to know right fucking now what everyone's drinking. Explain this shit to me.
Miters, small batch bourbon. Y'all know me. I'm a bourbon person. I'm from where the bourbon comes from. So in that way, me and the bourbon are siblings.
You and the bourbon are one.
Yes. We're family.
Is it like a I am thou art I sort of situation with the bourbon? Like, is it like a persona?
More of an I like bourbon kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay, no, that makes total sense. Jeff, what are you drinking?
Just Woodford Reserve. It's
hey, always a good fallback.
I'm not gonna fault you for that. I am drinking. I was telling Derek this. I'm drinking an old fashioned. I used to be a bartender in college, obviously. So, and Derek has experienced my cocktails. And I mix quite the drink.
Yes.
I
mix nightmares.
Yes, you do. I, on the other hand, mix amazing cocktails.
You know what? I'm gonna make the Mountain Dew cocktail.
No.
For Jeff. As
No.
somebody, Jeff, you had the Mountain Dew cocktails at PAX West the one year, right?
No,
those were at PAX East.
Yeah.
Right.
That was PAX East. That
I
was
need
Jeff
Finn to
and-
be there so that Finn can try.
That was Finn. That was Finn and Nate, direct feed.
Yeah. Well, the chances of our favorite Billy Bob Thornton imposter showing up is pretty low. So
I'm assuming this is not good. Like, I'm not expected to enjoy this.
I think it was good, but John disagrees.
I couldn't swallow. I had to spit it out. Like I was not a fan. But then again, different tastes, different strokes for different. Yes, you did. You fucking gross bastard.
My rule with stuff is if I'm not allergic to it, I will try it. So
good rule to have.
Oh, that's right. If Jeff's able to come for Extra Life, I got to hide all the peanut butter. So I am drinking an old fashioned I made. I used 3 ounces of Basil Hayden, a nice 80 proof.
Basil Hayden's a solid bottle of bourbon.
Best thing in the world for a good old fashioned. Some sugar, 2 tablespoons of water, a lot of bitters because I like a lot of bitters. My old fashions. You rim the glass, and then I forgot to put my big ice cube in the mold, so I just stuck the whole old fashioned in the freezer for like an hour and a half, and it came out great. So you got to do what you got to do. No, so chat's filling up. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Again, small cast tonight. Small cast, big fucking personalities. So I think we're all gonna have a good fucking time. As always, except for recently, because we've been just hit with some really busy weeks here over the summer. Usually, as always, we're gonna start with what we've all been playing. Usually, as always, does that make sense? Did I just
enough?
Okay, fine. Derek, what have you been playing?
So before I get into what I've been playing, may I start with, as the wonderful boys on Knowledge Fight would put it, a bright spot.
I'll allow it. We could all use one of those.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, it's possible John knows about this, but it's also possible not. But I have a paid voice acting gig. I will be doing a trailer voiceover for a video game that people know about.
I did not know this, Derek.
Yes.
Awesome. When do we get to find out what it is?
I don't know. I still need to record, obviously, the lines, but we all know the person who is doing who's heading up the marketing campaign for this game. And
can you say it?
You will. No, I can't. I am sworn to secrecy until such things, but it is a game that people do know about and is officially announced already. So it's like mid-level. I'm not doing like a fucking Dragon Age trailer voice, y'all.
Derek, I will not fucking allow the industry to take you away from us.
No,
I just won't let it happen.
It's not abandoned. Although if I announced that, it would be very fitting. I could say it, and that dude would probably just be like, "Yeah, that's correct."
Yeah, he's our main character
for months.
Derek, you're in Arc 2 alongside Vin Diesel, aren't you?
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
I would do horrible things to hear Derek narrate an Arc 2 trailer.
But yeah, we'll talk about that more.
Dude, that's fucking congratulations,
comes.
Dude. You fucking deserve it. Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's outstanding.
Well, nepotism's involved, right? But you know,
yeah, but still, who cares, dude? You got to get yours, man. Get yours.
I've done enough little local voice work, and of course, I do multiple podcasts, and you all know that my voice is wonderful, if somewhat unique. So yeah, I'm gonna. It's not a big thing, but it's a cool thing, and I'm gonna be crowing about it once it's actually out there. So
you fucking should, dude. That's outstanding. Seriously, dude. That's fucking awesome. Congratulations. You deserve it, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
holy shit.
Bright spot aside. Excuse me, hiccup. What I've been playing primarily the past couple weeks. I've been playing Half-Life Alyx. I don't know why it took me this long to get around to it. I have an Oculus Quest 2. I've had one for a little bit now, and I've played through several games on it, both standalone and through the Oculus Link, where you can use it as a PC headset.
Right.
And I'm a big Half-Life fan, so I don't know. I mean, like Half-Life 2 was formative for me, so I don't know why it took me so long. But I got around to playing Half-Life Alyx. I beat Half-Life Alyx. one of the best experiences I've had in VR so far. It's an excellent showcase for what gaming can be in VR.
It got really good fucking reviews, if I remember correctly.
It deserved it. It's very interactive. It's fun. It's funny. It is very immersive. It is very interesting. It is it feels like Half-Life, right? In VR format. It all of the visual aesthetic and style is there, but polished and cleaned up for kind of a more modern style.
I think like really impressive that they're able to do that. I think a lot of people associate developer names with like games, like they see Valve and they're like, oh, Valve can just make another Half-Life. But how many people from Half-Life 2 are still there? Like I'm guessing there's been a lot of turnover.
There's been a lot of turnover.
It's
been so fucking long.
A new entry that many years later and have it like feel true to the spirit of the other games is really hard.
And Alex is sort of an integral between 1 and 2. It's set
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
It's set several years before Half-Life 2. And also one more thing I should say is that while I think none of the like gunplay is nearly as detailed, and like I also played the Medal of Honor VR game a few months ago, and that was really interesting, right? Because you get something like an M1 Garand, and you've actually got to grab and like pack the like it's a lot more interactive in that regard of having to fiddle with things. And Alex tries to be a little bit less finicky with the details and a little bit more straightforward in terms of interactivity and a little bit more like gimmicky in a fun way. But it's set a couple of years before Half-Life 2. You play as Alex. And I don't want to like go through all of the details of the plot or anything, but I got to tell you, when I beat it, it's an old enough game I can kind of give away like the big hook to it.
Right.
Please. Its stealth sets up Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3 is coming. Yeah. Half-Life 3 is coming.
You think so? You think
yes, because the end of Alex specifically goes to the ending of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, where the very famous cliffhanger was, and undoes Dr. Vance's death and sets up the sequel hook of Alex being stuck under the employ of the G-Man, but Gordon and the now no longer dead Dr. Vance setting out to rescue her. So it is explicitly, this is how we're going to go from Episode 2 to Half-Life 3.
I would love to see. I just like, you know me, I'm not the biggest first-person shooter guy in the world. I love Half-Life. I love
Half-Life is great because Half-Life, too many modern shooters are very dumb shooting galleries, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss the days of campaigns that gave you shit to do. Like, it's why I love Titanfall, but I love Doom and Wolfenstein. They succeed both in their writing and in terms of mechanically being more interesting than the standard Call of Duty walk down a hallway, pop, pop, pop.
Plus, I got to kill Nazis in Wolfenstein, man. What's not to love?
I'm due for a replay of both Wolfenstein games.
Shit, now I want to now I want to do it. Fuck.
But yeah, Half-Life was, just masterpiece in game design. And so is Half-Life 2. So knowing that Half-Life 3 is coming has me so excited. It's so weird that this extremely clear statement that not only is Half-Life not dead, but that 3 is on the way really went under mentioned in gaming press. I think it should have been a bigger thing.
I think the reason that didn't happen is because people like are tired of holding their breath for Half-Life 3.
That's part of it. And part of it's stuck at the end of a VR exclusive PC VR exclusive game. Mm-hmm. So, the number of people who probably played Half-Life Alex is pretty low.
Do you think that was a misstep?
No.
Do you think putting this on VR
No, because it's a game that only would have worked in VR. And honestly, I think that Half-Life 3, when it comes, you're not going to need to have played Alex to get where Half-Life 3 is going to pick up. I think that the only thing I'll say is I really hope that Valve ports this to the PSVR 2. Because more people deserve to get to play it. It's one of the best VR experiences I've played. And Valve is not afraid. Valve is obviously not afraid to put their games on multiple systems. So
I think we talked about it on other podcasts when we were talking about, was it still the NVIDIA leaks? We were talking about interesting things And one of them, I think, I singled out was a Half-Life 2 remaster, I think was listed
Yeah,
somewhere.
that was on that list.
And I
Wait,
kind of
that
flagged that.
really?
Yeah, and I flagged that because I was like, Valve doesn't really have any precedent or history of doing remasters per se. I assume it's a console port if they're going to that effort. Because I mean,
well, and
it's
on
pretty.
PC you could clean it up, maybe
Yeah,
add ray tracing, maybe not. It's kind
but
of an older game, like,
it was interesting that they're doing that with that game after this long.
and
If
it makes
not
sense
to,
knowing that
yeah,
Half-Life 3 is definitely coming.
yeah.
That they're gonna want people to get the
Eh,
opportunity to play
mhm.
back through Half-Life 2. So, yeah,
So
that was a big thing that I've been playing recently.
I've got one question for you, Derek,
Yeah.
and then we'll move on to Jeff here. I have heard from a few people that have played Half-Life Alyx that while this is not a out and out horror game, it definitely ramps up the horror tone and aspects compared to Half-Life 1 and 2.
There's a lot of I would say it's kind of similar to like Ravenholm, right? The Ravenholm chapter of Half-Life 2, if you
Right.
remember.
Yep.
It's there's a lot of horror elements to it, right? You have to scrounge ammo more than you normally do in Half-Life 2. There's dark sections where all you have is a wrist-mounted flashlight. There's dealing with head crabs in a VR space where you have kind of limited movement and control.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It can be a little stressful, although more realistically, the head crabs are also kind of ungainly, right? They waddle slowly on the ground. They need to rear up and give themselves an opportunity before they jump at you, and they can't course correct. So you kind of start learning through like, okay, well, hang on, I can pop them before they get out, into the air. I can pop them out of the air. I think I read you can even technically like reach out and grab them if you're quick enough. You can literally just and catch it when it's jumping at your face. So and there's some good horror elements. There's a great sequence with an unkillable enemy who will one hit kill you, who is blind and operates only on sound, which is a really really interesting chapter. There's definitely some horror elements to it.
See, now you're talking about, because I always thought that one thing that Half-Life 2, because you guys know me, my two favorite genres are JRPGs and horror. And one thing I wish Half-Life 2 would have done was really lean into that horror aspect. And I think it's really cool that Alyx is apparently doing that. So that gives me hope that whatever Half-Life 3 is going to be.
The end of the campaign power trip that is so like standard for Half-Life games at this point is I won't give it away for people who might have the opportunity to play it, but it's so fucking cool.
Fuck, you're gonna make me. Fuck, I gotta play. So, can I hook my Oculus up to my PC and play it?
Yes, you have an Oculus Quest. You can hook it up with a USB-C cable into a USB 3.0 port, and now you need kind of a beefy graphics card to do it. I don't know what your PC's going with, but
I think I can run.
And then you can just run. You need to download the Steam VR client. But yeah, it's excellent.
You're speaking my language, dude. No, Derek, dude, that was a great fucking breakdown of Half-Life Alyx, man. Thank you for that.
It's real fucking good. So play it if you can.
Jeff, what are you playing this week, buddy? What you been playing? Well, not even just this week. What have you been playing recently?
I had to look it up because I couldn't remember because I had missed quite a few shows there for a while, and then we didn't do the segment for a bit. So I've been jumping around. There's no games for me this year. We won't beat around the bush. I'm just playing old stuff. I wrapped up my Final Fantasy VII Remake replay. I think I talked about that before. Awesome game. I started the Uffie DLC, which I still haven't played, and I think I needed a break from the game. I'll get back to it soon. So I bounced back to Mass Effect. What's that?
I was just gonna say the Fort Condor minigame is so addictive.
We'll see. I usually don't do.
Oh, you'll love it. Oh, you'll love it.
I think I looked at it and like it seemed like I had to learn rules, and I was like, this is too much effort. I just want to hit buttons and I just want to win. So I bounced back to Mass Effect 2 because last year I played Mass Effect 1, which is my favorite Mass Effect game, and I got halfway through 2, and I don't like. I feel like I'm always the contrarian. I just don't like 2 that much. Like, it's a great game. It's a very well made game. It just doesn't speak to me as much personally.
One has way better Star Trek vibes.
Yeah,
right?
I love the vibe of the first game. I like the story a little bit more. I know the second game is a little bit more about the personal character stories rather than like the big galaxy one. And it just maybe the characters just don't land for me as much as some. There's some really good ones, no doubt, like Morden. But I also hate what they did to the Citadel. It's like an amazing, huge, wondrous place in the first game, and it's a 4-level like neon shopping mall in Mass Effect 2. Is really weird. I just started 3, so I'm glad they kind of restored it a little bit there. But yeah, so I just burned out on 2 last year. There's too much shooting. Even playing on easy mode, it was fucking hard. I was dying all the time. But I went back to it and I had a really good time. That ending it still fucks. That ending is still really, really good. I enjoyed that whole ramp up to the finish there. So yeah, I started 3, kind of burned out again. So I'll circle back to that in a little bit. I chipped away at Gran Turismo 7 a little bit more. I have 1 trophy left for the platinum. I just have to do 30 more online races, but I've been enjoying playing games lately and not having to ice my arms and hands after like I did with Gran Turismo for 2 months. So I'm taking it a
I
little bit
remember
easier
that.
now. I'm not in a hurry to get that. So I decided to finally play the PS5 version of Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy because it was on sale. I wasn't gonna replay the first 3 games because I played them a bunch of times already, and I got like 2/3 through 4, and I was like, "Fuck."
It doesn't feel right without playing the first 3.
Yeah, so I literally stopped, like kind of right after you regroup with Elena. Went right back to the first game. I beat the first game because I play these on like I think there's a difficulty easier than easier because like I just want to fucking get the story
Yeah.
and win. I think I plowed through the first game in an afternoon. It was probably they disabled the timer statistic on easy modes. They disable everything, which sucks. I'm glad their games don't do that anymore. But pretty sure I beat it in 4 hours and 20 minutes or something. There's a joke there. And then I beat the second game probably in like 6.5 or 7 hours. So I just started 3. And like every time I go back, I don't want to talk about it too much because we've talked about Uncharted to death over the years, but I'm always blown away by the leap from 1 to 2. And somehow like that jump is even
Yeah.
bigger than I remember it every time I go back. I think we all know 1 hasn't aged particularly well. I still enjoy the story, but man, they didn't focus test games back then because those jet ski barrel, whatever the
Oh my
fuck that
god,
is.
dude, the one of the
It's
worst
very
things
clear that
ever.
nobody played this game until they shipped it because no one would have said this is fun. This is a good time.
That was the
Yeah.
worst, dude. Yes,
Uh,
abso-fucking-lutely. That shit.
um,
But when you talk, Jeff, when you talk about the jump quality from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, like that has to be one of the biggest quality leaps in gaming
uh,
history,
I
right?
played
Like,
lots of games recently where I'm like, oh, this is like an Uncharted 1 to 2 leap. And then I now going back to this, I'm like, oh man, I don't know that there's been a lot of games with this. It's not just the visuals, it's like the way it plays.
well, it's the
Uh
cinematic nature of it, like the train
yeah.
hanging off the mountain and
Mhm.
and oh god, Uncharted 2 is so
And just
fucking
the
good.
scale of it, like, I mean, we know how Naughty Dog does this is they work their employees to death. So I don't want to overlook that fact, but I
Yeah,
still
true.
can't believe what they were able to accomplish on the PlayStation 3 hardware. Just the scope of some of those rooms and levels and stuff like that. It's just yeah, just mind blowing still. So yeah, I'm a few hours into 3 now. I should be wrapping that up shortly, and then I'll bump back to 4 and play Lost Legacy, and that'll be that. I,
Jeff, can I raise a point real quick and see what
yeah.
you think about? So, I think that the one thing that the Uncharted games didn't really nail until Uncharted 4 was third-person gunplay that feels tight and good.
Yeah, we were
Like,
talking about that in the Discord because we were talking about Tomb Raider 2013, and I remember when Tomb Raider 2013 came out, the story was whatever, but I was like, man, this is like what an Uncharted game would feel like if the shooting felt good. Because
Yeah.
even going back through them, I noticed immediately from 1 to 2, it's a little better. 3 actually has a noticeable improvement from 2, but I agree it's not until 4. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm not a game designer. It's missing something. There's
yeah,
no
yep.
I don't know if it's the hit reaction or the obviously the haptics in the PS5 version of 4 help a lot, but
I mean,
yeah,
aiming just sucks in 1 and 2.
that's why I'm
right?
playing them on
Like,
easy. Like the shooting's not fun, so I don't want to spend
yeah.
a lot of time shooting. Like but no, definitely I agree. It was not everything else. I think it stands out more because the rest of the game is at such a high level in terms of the technical bar that yeah, that shooting. Oof. But they were coming off what was it Jack that they did before that? So obviously, new to the shooter genre. I
Right,
think they
correct,
learned a
yeah.
lot.
Hang on. When did Last of Us 1 come?
Last of Us 1 came out in 2008.
Was that between 2 and 3 or between 3
no,
and
it
4?
It came out in 2008 because I played it in Afghanistan.
No, Last of Us was 2013. Uncharted 3 was 2011. Uncharted 2 was 2009.
So it was
and
between
one was,
3
I
and
was talking
4.
about Uncharted. What I meant was Uncharted. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
Uncharted 1
anyway,
was 2007.
I got a question for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite teammate in the Mass Effect series? There's a couple of correct answers. But...
The correct answer is Thane.
I mean, I'm still early
like
in
to kiss a
3,
fish
so
boy.
don't quiz me on 3.
Yeah.
I know people like Thane. I can't help it. Garrus is a classic.
Garrus is a good one.
I think the entire crew from the first game, except for Ashley, which obvious reasons, is probably my favorite. Yeah.
Rar nailed it in chat. It's Tali for me.
Tali's really good. Although
that voice,
I don't know what the context was.
Rex in here.
Did they not unmask Tali somewhere, and it was just the most boring, unimaginative?
Yeah, originally in Mass Effect 3 they did, and it was like a badly photoshopped stock photo, and they redid it with the Legendary Edition, and it's a little more creative.
Okay,
but she's still just a hot girl, basically.
Yeah, all right.
That's what Tali
sure,
is.
but that's aliens in a Star Trek inspired universe. Anyway, who would win in a fight? You were John.
It's very true. I'm watching Star Trek Discovery right now. They get a little bit more creative, but every Star Trek, it's like green human, blue human, red human.
That was a really good Rex.
I've been over here bullshitting anyway. Continue.
Anyway. Jeff, what else? You got anything else, buddy?
No, that's pretty much it. And yeah, we'll see what the rest of the year brings.
Well, in that case, I will take the baton here. And I've been playing a couple things. First and foremost, I got to talk about that Live Alive demo that dropped this past week. So Live Alive, if you don't know, is an HD 2D remake of the original 1994 Super Nintendo game that never came to the United States. And this is one of those games. We first learned about this game's existence actually in the Nintendo Direct that I was watching with Derek.
Yeah. Because you freaked out, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, this looks like some Super Nintendo game I never fucking played, and it sure was. So
yeah, and I was like, Live Alive, what the fuck? So the last thing I imagined we would ever get an HD 2D remake of all things. Live Alive is one of those games that would have been huge if it had ever made it over here, but it just didn't. Now this is the game. Excuse me. This is most of the team that worked on Live Alive went on to develop Chrono Trigger. So that's the game's pedigree. So Live Alive involves 7 characters with an 8th unlockable character that I won't talk about right now because I do know the story of the game. But Live Alive focuses on different characters in different time periods. There's a character that is in prehistoric times, and the language is all grunts. There's no actual spoken because there's no language yet. So all the text bubbles are just grunts, and you have to figure out what they're saying based on their sprite animations and stuff like that. There's a Wild West chapter, which looks so fucking cool. There is Imperial China, feudal Japan, the present day, the near future, the far future, and eventually all these stories do kind of come together and mesh. Think Octopath Traveler, but with more character interaction between the party.
I mean, I'm in based on what little I've seen. I've got a backlog of JRPGs, but this sounds super up my alley.
Well, so it also has. Now, I had never played Live Alive before, and I can confirm to you this has one of the coolest battle systems I have ever played in a JRPG.
We found a Super Nintendo JRPG John didn't play.
So I know it's rare, but it happens. So basically, in most classic Super Nintendo games, Super Nintendo RPGs specifically, you've got your party on one side of the screen and you've got your enemies on another side of the screen, right? That is not the case with Live Alive. In Live Alive, you are on a big grid, so there's a real tactical element to it. You've got your health, and you've also got an action bar, and you can move freely whenever you want. but every time you move, that action bar fills up. And when the action bar fills up, you get to do whatever. But while you're moving, the enemy's action bar fills up as well.
Fat for All in chat is describing it as kind of like proto Chrono.
So it's like proto Chrono with an element, believe it or not, of mystery dungeon. Because every time you move, your the
time
enemy's
passes.
time. Yeah, right, exactly. And they don't need to move. They don't necessarily. The enemy won't necessarily move, but every time you move, their action bar you can see gets more and more full. So there is a heavy strategic element to it. And different attacks target different squares, right? Like, for example, big AoE attacks might target 3 squares around you in every direction. But there are some squares where it targets, it's almost like chess, where it will target every other square diagonally. So the strategy element is far more prevalent than what you would see in like your standard active time battle system, like from a Final Fantasy game, right? And it is such a cool fucking system. I had so much fun with it. I played through the demo twice. It's not very long. In fact, there's 3 chapters, but you only play the opening kind of like little bit of each chapter. And you have the option to carry your save over, but I'm not going to do that. I want to start this game fucking fresh when it comes out. I was very excited about it because I've always wanted to play Live Alive. I was not anticipating to love it as much as I already do. This was already my most anticipated game of the year, but playing the demo twice has only reinforced that. This is going. Wait, hold on. Wily Wars and Assault Suit Lanos on NSO? Really?
You keep talking about what you're talking about. I'll do the research.
Anyway, Live Alive is shaping up to be something truly fucking special. I cannot believe just how much, and each chapter, like, and granted, I've only played through the beginning portions of 3 chapters, right? Because that's all the demo will let you play. But everything feels so unique. Even the battle, like, for example, Derek, the battle theme in feudal Japan is decidedly different from the battle theme in Imperial China and the far future and so on and so forth. The battle themes are unique and have styles that mesh really well with the time periods that you're, whatever time period you're playing in. I cannot fucking wait. For July 22nd. And I'm frustrated because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 releases the next week, and I'm sure that's going to be good. But I'm frustrated with Nintendo for dropping it a week after Live Alive, because Live Alive deserves a wide fucking audience. This is shaping up to be something fucking.
Yeah, but, I mean, Live Alive is gonna hit like hardcore older JRPG fans looking for nostalgia.
That's true,
and that's not gonna lose out because of Xenoblade. Like it's they're both JRPGs, but they're kind of aiming at different parts of the JRPG market, if that makes sense. And I think a lot of people who are going to have to decide between one, if they care, they're going back for the other at some point.
I am so excited for people to experience this game. I can't fucking wait. I'm so happy. I've been playing a couple other things. So I tried the Resident Evil 2 remake PS5 version. And I am very sad to report that the haptic feedback is great. It brings a whole new dimension to Resident Evil 2, and that's fantastic. Unfortunately, when you turn on ray tracing, at least on PS5, the
PC2.
What's that?
PC2. I know what you're gonna say.
PC2.
Yeah.
The frame rate takes a little bit of a nosedive, let's say.
They're not great updates, unfortunately.
They're not.
Especially not with their ray tracing implementation. I've seen that apparently on PC at least, if you take the exact same settings, ray tracing off everything on the like Resident Evil 2, you get almost like a 30% frame rate drop for the exact same game. It's just not a well done update and port
at all. And I don't think they're gonna fix it. And I don't think they can fix it.
I think they will. Capcom wants that. I mean, here's the thing: the problems exist on consoles too, so Capcom's sure gonna fix it. But Capcom's also trying to keep their PC strategy more in check, right? They want to serve that market because PC gamers have been buying Capcom games. So
it's interesting because from what I understand, it's basically the same ray tracing implementation that Resident Evil 8 had. The difference being that's first person with a smaller field of view. Yeah. So I was talking to a couple other people who were interested to see when that third person mode drops for Resident Evil 8 to see what the ray tracing performance is like in third person mode on consoles.
Well, and I wonder, a lot of people, and it's funny because I read a lot of people who say like the Resident Evil 8 PC port was bad. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I played every modern Capcom game that's come out on PC, Monster Hunter aside. And they've run great on PC. They have a couple of weird little graphics things where like, you know, this lighting implementation's a little fuzzy, but that's not uncommon on PC games, unfortunately. They have to know like, no, I need this specific anti-aliasing setting or else it's going to look weird and blocky. But I mean, maybe it's just a matter of trying to staple that onto the existing game didn't go so well. I don't know.
All I know is like I was really excited and I turned the ray tracing on and like 30 seconds later I turned it off. I was like, oh,
it doesn't add that much either, honestly.
I didn't notice a huge difference. Like that's weird though, Derek, that the PC has the same problem. You'd think that it would be.
Well, the PC's problem, see, it's kind of different issues, right? Because the problem with consoles is that anytime you want ray tracing on consoles on AMD hardware, you are eating into the compute power of the graphics card. I mean, that's just the nature of it, right? You have less to work with, so it's going to suffer somewhere, whether it's in resolution, frame rate, what have you. And on PC, it really kind of depends on the hardware you're working with, because NVIDIA-based graphics cards have those dedicated tensor cores for ray tracing. So to some extent, if you have an RTX graphics card, ray tracing doesn't really eat much into your performance. The problem on PC is that Capcom doesn't seem to really know how to work with DirectX 12 very well. So that's proving to be a problem for these games. But, you know, Capcom's going to do at least some fixes. They're going to.
Hope so, man. I hope so, because I would love to play it with Ray. But I'll tell you what, though. The haptic feedback on the PS5 controller is really fucking cool. I love that shit. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. Like, it doesn't take away from the game. It still looks great. It runs great. You can you're not losing anything on PS5.
The games were lookers on PS4. So if you can just run it on PS5 in higher resolution and frame rate, like, ta-da.
Yeah. And they ran fucking great on PS4. So, do as you will, I guess. The only other thing I've been the other thing I've been playing was the Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yeah.
Which Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo is one of my favorite PS1 games. So I've been playing a shitload of that just because I fucking love it. Been playing Darkstalkers. I'm an old school Darkstalkers fan. I've also been playing Red Earth, which, Derek, I don't know if you ever played Red Earth.
No, absolutely not. It's never left Japan. It was only an arcade game, right?
I didn't know if there was like a ROM.
There were a couple of Red Earth characters in Capcom Fighting Evolution for the PS2, but that game sucked shit. So.
I'll tell you what doesn't suck shit is Red Earth, because, dude, Red Earth has some of the best sprite animation I have ever seen. Like Capcom.
That was around the same time as like Street Fighter 3, so it has like Street Fighter 3 level animation.
Yeah, and it's really, and of course, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is still to this day some of the finest sprite animation that the industry has to offer to this day. Red Earth is on that level. You owe it to yourself to play.
I'm gonna get this collection just to play some Darkstalkers, because I used to play Darkstalkers 2 so much. We actually had an arcade machine nearby, and I played a lot of Darkstalkers 2. So I
slipped right back into Dimitri, man. It
emulated
was so cool.
A lot of Vampire Savior.
But people in chat playing Red Earth. Yeah, it's fucking awesome, Derek. You'll love it. But yeah, no, that's what I've been playing. Live Alive. I tried some Resident Evil 2. with ray tracing, and I've been playing a ton of Capcom Fighting Collection. This is just a great fucking bundle.
Yeah.
But there we go. Look at that. Look at that. 40 minutes talking about what we've been playing.
It's been a good night.
Perfect. What do we got now, Derek? You want to talk about the
Nintendo
Nintendo Direct?
Let's talk about the
Let's
Nintendo Partner Direct. It's funny because we've all been expecting a big Nintendo Direct, and we have been thoroughly denied. No Nintendo first-party stuff in the month of June, which is unusual. It's been a very long time. How long has it been? I'm not going to look it up right now. That would take too much time. But it's been a long time since there hasn't been a June big E3 style Nintendo Direct.
I think
they're too afraid to come back without Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fucking can't.
Did we even have one in 2020, Derek?
Yeah. Because even without E3, they've done their own standalone directs. But
interesting. Okay.
So we had this 30-minute mini direct. If it's 30 minutes, it's not mini. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, this is yeah.
Yeah, and it was a partner direct, so it was almost entirely focused on third-party titles. I have a list pulled up of everything that was announced here. And let's be clear, a lot of this was ports. But even the stuff that was ports, I thought was really interesting. Do we want to just go through this kind of in order of reveal?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, because some of this stuff we're just going to breeze right over. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. We've seen so many trailers for Sunbreak at this point. Very cool.
It's out today. Today.
Oh, that's true. Very cool. You want to show off Shigaru Magala, but like we knew that was going to happen when you announced Gore Magala was in. It's fine. It's a launch trailer for Sunbreak. Cool, right? The game's going to do well. Or the expansion is going to do. Nier Automata Switch version. Like I must be bugging because I thought this was already on Switch.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
dude.
and clearly
in
not.
Fact, so here is my frustration with Nier Automata on Switch, right? And this is a frustration. This is a frustration I've heard echoed from people. And my frustration isn't so much with Nier Automata itself, because I love Nier Automata. And the more platforms it's playable
on, the lack
of
its superior
the better. No. I'm frustrated because you're telling me that you could do a port of Nier Automata that runs on the Switch, runs natively on the Switch, and you couldn't do the same for the Kingdom Hearts PS2 games. It doesn't make.
They decided not.
They just didn't, and it doesn't.
Well, we'll see how
performance
performance is on this Switch version.
Let's see how
that goes.
So it apparently runs at a nice 30 frames a second, and docked is 1080p and undocked is 720p.
And it's 30. Okay. Look, stable 30 will be okay.
That's really impressive because I think the PS4 version was 900p and like 45 to 50 frames per second. So like
something like that.
30 on Switch that's a great port if it's stable.
I'll
looks
take
good
it
in the trailer. Like it doesn't look like
does.
a lot of visual cutbacks.
I just wish they had also announced Replicant. Right? It's very weird now that both games are available on modern systems that only but I mean Automata's the one that blew up and is still far more popular. I'm just grumpy as somebody who played the original Nier back in the day and wishes more people did. I guess.
Well, what's I think Replicant is better than Automata.
That's not an opinion, that's a fact, but continue.
I'm just saying, I think I'll frame it this way. I think there are things Replicant does better than Automata. Like Run, for example. Like it runs better.
Oh, I don't. Well, okay, the like Replicant, the version that was re-released does.
Yes,
the original.
That's what I'm talking about. No. I'm talking about the re-release.
Yeah.
I
but
think
I miss Jameson Price's Big Thick Daddy voice on Papa Nier in the original version, and I don't know who's voicing Twink Nier and Replicant, but
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyway.
But Nier Automata was so like I feel like there have been rumors about this forever, right? Like Nier Automata was going to come to Switch.
Sure, seems like rumor bait.
I think it's great that it's available on yet another platform. And I think it's going to be really cool to be able to take Nier Automata on the go. I'll pick it up for sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to play through that again.
We have an announcement of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
I skimmed the fuck over that, Derek, because
it didn't catch my attention, I will admit, but here's the thing. It's the devs behind Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Okay,
so
all right.
Bare minimum, like Justin is gonna be so into this.
Well, I also loved Sayonara Wild Hearts, so that game was fucking great. But yeah, maybe I should go back and actually pay attention to the trailer for Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
It looked interesting. I need to see more. But see, that's the thing. Like Sayonara Wild Hearts also, the first time I saw it, did not wow me, and it really took playing it to understand, like, oh no, this rules.
Right.
So it's probably, I assume it's going to be the same way with Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. But there's not much to go off of. I'm there based on the developer reputation, but that's it.
What else we got there? What was next?
Super Bomberman R2.
This looks delightful.
Yeah.
This looks delightful. I mean,
Did both of you play Super Bomberman R on any system it launched on?
I did, and I also played Bomberman 64, which is one of the best N64 games.
All three Nintendo 64 Bomberman games were like top tier, but
I've never played a Bomberman game.
Play the N64 games.
Oh, Jeff, you're missing out, dude.
They're very good, but
great
like most of them are, fine. But the N64 games are really good.
Really fucking good.
Really good, like adventure platformer action games.
I just think it's cool that Bomberman is getting acknowledged.
Yeah,
in 2022.
I just wish that they were more complex games than we put you on a grid full of blocks like the Super Nintendo formula.
I mean, that's kind of Bomberman, though. Like, I mean, that's...
Again, I don't know, man. I played Bomberman 64, Bomberman 64 Second Attack, Bomberman Hero on N64, and then played Jetters and Generations on the GameCube. That's 5 very different games.
What you're saying, Derek, is that you want Bomberman dating sim.
No. No. And I don't want Bomberman Act Zero either. But no, I think I just wish they would be slightly more. Here's the thing. Super Bomberman R made sense coming out of Konami because it was probably very cheap to make and very easy to design.
I agree
Super
with that.
Bomberman R2 likewise looks very easy to design and very cheap to make compared to making another full-blown like actual adventure game out of Bomberman. So, but that's fine. Like, I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see that Bomberman R did well, and that our weird mouthless lad will continue to have releases.
He's got a mouth somewhere, Derek.
He's not dead under Konami, and that's good. That's more than many can say. Rest in peace, Bloody Roar.
What else we got? Oh, dude, fucking! I just
put
Bloody Roar on my Vita, and I'm really sad because
this is going to be a big one. And it's been a long time waiting on Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Yes,
coming
Jeff,
to presumably every system. I'm pretty sure.
I believe it's going to come to every system.
Yeah, it's like every system. I mean, it's
actually,
same as the other Mega Man connections.
I don't believe it's coming to Xbox.
That would be weird.
Jeff, have you ever played any of the Battle Network games?
Nope.
Oh, buddy, you're missing out. These are some great tile-based card, like card-based RPG. Well, whatever, man. Like
no disrespect to those kind of games.
It's a weird blend of like real-time action card RPG, like. Yeah, like it's a weird series, but
it's the Kingdom Hearts chain of memories of Mega Man games. That's the
you managed to say something that lost both me and Jeff.
Yeah, again.
Look, all I'm saying is Mega Man Battle Network is fucking awesome, except for 4. Mega Man Battle Network 4 is
not like great. 4, but I recognize that it's not what a lot of people were looking for. It's certainly not my favorite, right?
It's not 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
Well, sure, but I like it more than 1. So
I don't know about all
that. When this comes, I'm gonna skip 1, start with 2, and play through them all.
I'll probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
Coming later than I thought it would, though, Derek. Not till next year. I was expecting this
I missed that part. God damn it! I was excited to do this sometime this fall.
No, we got a bit to wait, man.
Fuck a digital duck.
I was a little. Is that digital? Is that a thing that exists? Digital duck?
I'm sure it does in the Battle
Okay.
Network world.
I probably does. Would you fuck
The
it?
dog houses have Ethernet ports, so
That's true.
in case the dog wants to get on the internet. So
yeah, and Derek, there's no release date either. It's just 2023. So who fucking knows when we'll actually play it next year? I am
Late
just
spring.
happy. I'm happy that it exists. Let's say that. I'm just happy that we're finally. And I think this is the last. No, never. I was going to say this is the last Mega Man series to get a collection, but no, we still don't have a Legends collection. So
it would just be, well, it'd be 3 games because you got Trombone and you also got the Star Force games.
Yep. So
you know.
What else, Derek? What's next?
Pac-Man World Remake. Pac-Man World Repack.
This was actually a great PlayStation game.
Was it a PlayStation game or
was
was it a
PS1 game? It was a PS1 game.
Pac-Man World was...
I'm like 99% positive it was a PS1 game.
It looks
Pac-Man
really
World
good,
2
so they
was
must have
on
remade
GameCube.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a remake.
It was PS1.
It's not a remaster.
It's a remake.
PS1 game.
It was a PS1 game. It was a great fucking platformer, dude. Like people did not
People
give that game
speak
enough
fondly
credit.
about the Pac-Man World series, if I remember correctly. I've never played it, and I like my platformers, so
you are in for a treat.
I need a reason to give a shit about Pac-Man because I do not.
I generally don't give a shit about Pac-Man either. I don't give a fuck about his stupid big dumb head and the fact that he eats pellets. I don't give a shit about that. But Pac-Man World is a great reinvention of the Pac-Man genre, and I am happy that it is coming back to a wider audience. Yeah, dude, if you haven't played it, do yourself a favor and pick this one up. It's fucking fantastic, dude. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's next, Derek? What's next? What do we got?
There was this very lovely little indie game called Blanc.
I don't remember this one.
It's the one with it's all in black and white, and it's the deer fawn and the wolf pup.
I must have tuned out.
Wow. Well, maybe you should look it up and see if you recognize it. I'm going to post the trailer. I'm going to post the trailer in the chat.
Post the trailer in the chat. Let me see this.
Play it.
Deer and fox. On black and white deer and fox?
Deer and wolf pup. There, I posted
Deer and
in
wolf
the chat.
pup. Deer and wolf pup. Okay, here it is.
This looks like a lovely little indie kind of puzzle adventure game. And I'm sure there's going to be a sequence somewhere in the middle to end that's going to absolutely break my fucking heart because that's how these things...
One of those animals is not making it through.
They're not making it. Yeah, exactly. One of those animals is going to die.
This is going to be like a Bambi's mom moment for sure. I get to, like, hey man, I watched Fox and the Hound. You can't fool me.
And
right?
It's gonna be the wolf. The wolf's gonna bite it.
That makes sense. Listen. This game looks lovely. It looks adorable. And
the animation's really good.
Yeah, I know it's very pretty. Like, I like
that dog's gonna fucking die and it's gonna suck. You know it is, Derek. What's next? Let's move on from the tragedy.
It'll be the deer. Deers are just very large rats.
They're also delicious.
I've had venison before. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Venison jerky is really fucking good.
I had venison for like a burger. That's pretty good.
Interesting.
So we got a new trailer for Return to Monkey Island, which I'm really excited for. Can I say I love the old Monkey Island games, and I missed a couple of the more recent ones.
I never played the old Monkey Island games, even though I love the point and click adventure games like King's Quest and Quest for Glory when I was younger.
Monkey Island would be so up your alley. I don't know.
It probably would. My thing with Monkey Island right now is the way that Ron Gilbert's being treated, but we'll get into that.
But this game, I think it looks lovely. I actually really like the shift in the art style as this very especially because this is meant to be not a new sequel to the latest Monkey Island game, but it's going to ignore the last couple Monkey Island games and be like a direct sequel to, thank you, Delaby and chat, a direct sequel to Monkey Island 2, from the original creators and developers. So I love that. And I like the idea that the graphics are kind of ignoring the art shift that happened with some of the later games. I think it's gorgeous. I think it looks charming. I'm really excited about it. I loved Monkey Island so much.
I should probably go back and play the first one.
First two. Because this is gonna be a new Monkey Island 3, basically. So
interesting. Okay, so it's not a remake.
No, it's a new game. It's a sequel that ignores the latest couple of games. So
okay, all right, fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, what's next, Derek? What was announced next?
Well, we got some extended gameplay on Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I didn't care about the first one. I've heard it's very good. I know a lot of people looking forward to this.
It's very good.
Whatever.
I like the first one. I'm having a hard time getting jazzed about the second one for some reason.
I have room in my heart for exactly 3 strategy RPGs at any given point in time, and unfortunately, Tactics Ogre, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Marvel's Midnight Suns are
pretty much
the 3 that are taking up my queue. So this just doesn't get to place.
What else we got?
There's a game called Little Noah, Scion of Paradise.
Yeah, that was the one that, you know what, the artwork for that looked like Bravely Default stuff, didn't it? It's
cute. It's very like...
It looks all right.
I think it's meant to be like a roguelike or something. It's cute. I don't know. Shit. There's not much to say about it. Like, I guess I want to see more. A couple of these games really didn't get a lot of focus, right? Little Noah came and went. So
that was the case for a few of these games. Yeah.
Yeah. This Railgrade game that's next, this train, building simulate.
I don't even fucking remember.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that. RPG Time, The Legend of Wright.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that
all
either.
of those were so Little Noah was 35-second segment. Railgrade
there you go.
Was let's see, 49 seconds. RPG Time 31 seconds.
These burned through, and there was like no time for them to make an impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just need to see more.
This isn't really fair to the game, right? Like,
kind of, but I mean, I think these are all like much smaller devs and much smaller. Well, the Side Games is pretty big, but I think it's a small game from them, so I don't know. It's fine. We got to another look at Sonic Frontiers, which we've seen a lot of recently.
This game looks
we have not had a chance to talk about Sonic Frontiers at all on this podcast.
Can I start? This was actually...
I think it's time to talk for a bit about Sonic Frontiers because we've had no opportunity to talk about this game.
This is the only thing I've seen of the game. I haven't followed. I think I had it. I kept hearing about
this
Sonic Origins.
This is probably the best showing for the game yet.
That's a low bar, Derek.
It is, but
I think, like, I don't know. I try not to be too down on the stuff I saw, but the art style is just super ugly to me. Like,
it's those, we took Mario and put him in a stock Unreal Engine field.
I know, like, because I haven't played a lot of Sonic games. The only one I really played was Generations on Xbox backwards compatibility.
That's a very good one.
Bright and colorful, and like I'm looking at the green in this, and it's just like
really
dull.
This man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
look. I've got friends, right, who are so stoked for this game, and genuinely, I don't want to be a downer because I'm tired of being a downer. I don't like to be a downer about much of anything. Like, if I don't think I'm going to like a game or I'm not excited for it, I'm not going to sit around and talk about it a bunch. I'm going to focus on a game that I am excited for. There's enough negativity out there. If the game's not like problematic, then it's not worth me focusing on. But Sonic has had a uniquely bad run of things, and this, man, I don't know. It's been a rough few showings. I don't know what they're doing with this big overworld.
So, Derek, I have said numerous times that Sonic belongs in the 2D space. He does not translate well.
I don't agree with that.
To the 3D space.
I don't agree with that at all.
There have been far more disastrous 3D Sonic games than there have
been a lot of disastrous 2D Sonic games. Sonic fans can't even agree if they like the 2D games that much because Sonic fans hate and love the Advance series, but maybe just Advance 1, but maybe not Advance 1. Maybe definitely Advance 2 and 3. No, fuck those games. Sonic Rush was good. Sonic Rush is just hold the boost button to win. We don't even talk about Sonic Rivals. Episode 4 never happened. Like, the 2D games have a bad track record.
So
pretty much anything since the Genesis has a bad track record.
So one thing I think we can all agree on is that Sonic Frontiers looks like a generic open world game that they just dropped Sonic in.
Kinda.
Like that's
it looks like they really
like.
wanted to do Breath of the Wild with Sonic.
They really, yes,
without
they
thinking
did.
about whether or not that makes any sense.
And so you know what's funny is that after the trailer, after the first time we saw the trailer, I picked up my Switch and I fired up Sonic Mania.
Great.
And game. I was like, this is what Sonic's supposed to look like rolling checkerboard hills, and I can't get excited about this shit.
Here's the
I
thing,
just can't.
man. Here's the thing, okay? I'm gonna hit you with some indisputable facts.
All right, just be gentle.
I'm gonna be gentle because I'm not here to be combative, but I do want to hit you with indisputable facts. Coming from somebody who is not a Sonic fan, I would not describe myself as a Sonic fan. I enjoy many Sonic games, but I don't have any piece of my identity built around Sonic as a franchise.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure was not the worst possible first step of Sonic into 3D, right? Sonic Adventure 2 cleaned that up a little bit. I still think the Sonic and Shadow stages, especially, and Adventure 2 are pretty solid. Heroes is a bit messy, but like you can see where they're working on a 3D Sonic formula, right? And maybe working on how they add and remove gimmicks from that. But there's something there that can potentially work. Sonic 06 was bad because it was unfinished, right? But like there's nothing about what that game was trying to be that couldn't have worked, potentially, if it had just been fucking finished. And that's why, again, you go to Sonic Unleashed, what's the problem? The Werehog stages. Daytime stages are great. Sonic Colors, great. Sonic Generations,
Colors is great. I will give you
Sonic Colors is great. Sonic Generations is great. Sonic Forces could have been great because it's the same basic foundation. It was just mimetically fucking stupid and buggy. So, and then you get stuff like Lost World. Like, that's the problem, is Sonic Team can't look at what works in 3D Sonic and go, okay, we got to stop building off this, right? And throwing extra shit. Stop throwing Werehogs in there. Stop trying to give you like character swapping. Like, let's just make a 3D Sonic game that works. That's like the Daytime Unleashed stages or the 3D stages in Colors and Generations. And they instead have to keep throwing shit out and starting over. And I mean, that's the curse of Sonic Team. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man.
I'm just not sure we need a open world Sonic game.
No.
Like I don't think that particular genre lends itself well to a character like Sonic. Like
I don't like what a lot of people say about, like, you know, these games have to be about speed. Because, I mean, again, if I go back to those Genesis games, like,
gotta go fast, Derek.
Speed is a reward for doing well and knowing the levels, but they're platformers, right? They're not hold right roller coasters. They're platformers, and you've got to slow down and you got to make decisions. And they've got interesting enemies and bosses, and there's been so little of that. I don't know, man. Sonic
is a mixed bag. Let's face it, Sonic is a mixed bag.
Another non-Sonic Team developer get some money to make a big Sonic. Sonic Boom doesn't count because there was no money behind that game.
All right, what's next, Derek? What's next? What we got next?
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, what do we got next?
That was like the one game I was actually interested in.
All right, we'll talk about it.
I don't know. I don't
have anything to. I don't have anything to say. Like, there's like very little shown. I think on one hand, I acknowledge it just looks like a giant Disney ad.
Right, it's Disney's
very high on its own property.
Disney's whole existence has been very like, please build a parasocial relationship with our IP now. But
it's a little weird.
They got me. So the
idea, but that's the thing. I grew up on Disney movies, and then they bought Marvel. So like, fuck, all those years I spent reading comic books.
Yeah,
so I mean, by the short and curlies.
I loved Disney Infinity before it shut down. And just getting to exist in a space, with like all this shit that I love, and it's like right up my alley in terms of like, there's customization, there's like a little bit of Sims, there's a little bit of Animal Crossing.
It looks like a variety game, basically.
My red flag is it's launching in early access, and like,
how does this game work in early access?
small 5-team indie studio launching a game on Steam in early access. Thumbs up to you. That's a great way to get your game out there, get some feedback, and build it with your community. a game with Disney's name on it launching in early access.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not right. So I've got very
Jeff's
low
fucking reaction there.
expectations. Very low expectations, but
What
I
even
hope
is this game? Like, what is this? Like it was like a social game? Like what?
Yeah, make friends with Disney characters.
Make friends with Disney characters?
Cook
like,
with Mr. Ratatouille.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I guess. Like
I
a.
don't know.
It's not.
There's
for me.
not
What's
gonna be
next, Eric?
Spider-Man, so I don't care.
Well, then I'm not interested. Who cares?
Yeah.
What's next?
Spider-Man's not in Kingdom Hearts 4. Psh, what's the point? Live Alive. I already gave you enough fucking time on Live Alive.
Hold on. We gotta go back to Live Alive. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I've already talked about Live Alive.
A Doraemon Story of Seasons crossover? Which
I don't even
actually
know what the fuck that means, Derek. What is that?
You not know what Doraemon is?
No.
That's like a very like retro, very classic Japanese like kids
Is it
show
Derek?
comic.
Derek, is it some anime bullshit?
It's like proto anime bullshit.
Then why would I know about it?
I don't know. Like, why do you know about like Speed Racer? Shit, man.
Because Speed Racer is part of the cultural zeitgeist of when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like go whatever the I can't what Goemon.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell. Yeah, that. Yeah,
Doraemon.
I don't know what that is. Doraemon.
Anyway, you know what Story of Seasons is? Harvest Moon.
Right. Okay.
Right, because they had to change the name because of the switch of publishers. But it's
I do remember
Harvest
that now.
Moon. So I think this was originally a Super Nintendo game, if I remember right. Like this is one of the earlier Story of Seasons games.
What, Harvest Moon? Like the original Harvest Moon?
Well, no, a Doraemon.
Oh, okay, I
Harvest
got you.
Moon.
I'm tracking.
Right, and this
Okay.
is being remade, I guess, for Switch because it's clearly not a Super Nintendo game.
Cool for
But
people that like it.
Doraemon is a super popular like Japanese family like franchise, especially like aimed at kids. You've seen this fucking dude.
Is that the short little guy?
The little
short
blue and white
dude
cat thing,
with,
yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, right.
You've
right.
seen
I know.
Doraemon, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I these are not normally my types of games, but I got a lot of respect for them because I know there's a lot of people who love these life sim, farming sim type of games. Animal Crossing wouldn't blow up the way it does. You know, if people didn't love this style of game. So cool.
Very cool.
If
What's
I can
next?
jump ahead a couple though.
Yes, you can.
Well, no, I'll just put a pin in that because we got several things in between that and the thing I want to talk about. Hang on, quick question from Famous Seamus. So wait, are the Story of Seasons games better than current Harvest Moon games? Yes. Story of Seasons and Rune Factory, which are basically the same series. Rune Factory is just like a fantasy spinoff of Story of Seasons, are made by the Harvest Moon team. Or made by these... What used to be Harvest Moon is now retroactively Story of Seasons because when that developer and that creative team switched Western publishers, they did not get to keep the Western name Harvest Moon. So Story of Seasons is what Harvest Moon always was. And the new Harvest Moon games are a completely different developer under the publisher that used to publish Harvest Moon, if that makes sense. So, like, if you look up Harvest Moon 64 on Wikipedia, it's part of the Story of Seasons franchise. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, Derek. That
Story of
makes
Seasons
sense.
and Rune Factory is what Harvest Moon used to be. Moving on. Minecraft Legends.
This is the action game, right?
Yeah. It's a little more action adventure. Which I'm curious. I'm not a Minecraft guy.
Me neither.
But like I know they had like story mode from Telltale, I think, and then the Dungeons game that was kind of a dungeon crawler Diablo-esque type game. And this is looking, I don't even know, like it just looks like Minecraft but with more action adventure. I don't know cuz it just looks like Minecraft to me. I missed the train to get into Minecraft. I wasn't a kid who played with Legos. I built Bionicles.
Neither was I, and I even I tried playing Minecraft, and dude, I was in the middle of building a house, and I just got so
Charlotte's
fucking
in
bored.
chat.
What's that?
I said, "Oh, Charlotte's in chat."
Hi, Charlotte. But yeah, I got so fucking bored with Minecraft the first time I played it. And plus, like, I have a weird time squaring with the fact that Minecraft came from the mind of a piece of shit like Notch.
No, Hatsune Miku made Minecraft. I think you're mistaken.
Maybe.
Yeah,
You might
Hatsune
be right
Miku
about that.
definitely made Minecraft. So
I see. Okay, my mistake then, Derek. My mistake.
yeah.
What's next?
Dragon Quest Treasures.
This looks delightful.
This is the first time we've seen much out of Dragon Quest
Yes.
Treasures since it was first revealed back in that big anniversary stream. God, was that like a year or more ago?
I want to, yeah, about that.
It's
about a year.
while ago.
It's been about a year. Now, of course, Dragon Quest Treasures is really a prequel to Dragon Quest 11 because you're playing as Eric and his sister.
Yes, and it originally started as a Dragon Quest Monsters game before it kind of evolved into something different. And you can tell, see, it was funny when they first announced this game back at that big Dragon Quest event. And they said this was originally a Monsters game, and it's evolved out of it. And I was like, okay, well, I don't see where the Dragon Quest Monsters is in this. But now you see, like, taming the different monsters, bringing them along in your party. I'm like, okay, I see where these elements, they can help you with exploration. Kind of reminds me of, like, Monster Sanctuary in a way. If any of y'all played that.
I never played Monster Sanctuary.
No, it was fun.
I never played it.
It kind of, like, moved Pokemon elements into a Metroidvania.
Ooh, I like this. You're speaking my language, Jared.
It's on Game Pass, you know. I think it's still on Game Pass. Check it out. But yeah, Dragon Quest Treasures looks great. I love Dragon Quest, even if the main composer and one of the lead people behind the franchise wants me dead.
Is he still alive?
Is it bad if I say I hope not?
No, not necessarily.
Has COVID come for Sugiyama yet?
Sugiyama sucks ass.
Yeah, he does. But Dragon Quest is great. And Dragon Quest Treasures looks great. It's very fun. It's very charming. It's very sweet. It's not gonna hold me off for a new Dragon Quest Monsters.
Probably
and
not.
I'm not forgetting that they specifically said that there would be talk about Dragon Quest Monsters at a separate anniversary event that has not yet happened. So, still want Dragon Quest Monsters.
But Derek, here's the thing.
But this looks lovely.
This looks like a Dragon Quest Monsters game.
No, it doesn't. It
kind of, dude.
It's not a turn-based RPG. It's a.
Does it have to? Does it have to be though?
Yes. That's like.
Bless you, Derek.
Here's the thing: a Pokemon game, you can have Pokemon spin-offs, but Pokemon should always have at least some resemblance to Pokemon as a mainline series. This doesn't look like Dragon Quest Monsters.
Charlotte says one day we'll get the Dragon Quest Monsters remasters in English.
They have been translation patched, so you can always use Citra. But I digress.
Interesting.
Yes.
Take
Anyway, I streamed one of them on SDGC, I think, at one point.
I know it
was my channel.
I was going to say, yeah.
Dragon Quest Treasures, I don't know. There's still not a lot of gameplay in this teaser, but there's more of it. I'm seeing more adventure elements. It looks very delightful.
I get to visit that world again. Dragon Quest XI is one of the best JRPGs I've played in the past decade. So just getting to revisit that world.
Put the big slime up against the cliff and used it to bounce high.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I'm all over that.
I love that. It went bounce. It went bloop.
Wait, Derek, how did it go?
It went bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Did it now? Interesting.
Yes, and I loved
sometimes
it.
That's all a video game needs to be.
Yeah.
Is go bloop.
It needs to go bloop.
Sometimes we all got to go bloop.
That's why so many old games are so good, because all they did was go bleep bloop.
I was going to make a constipation joke, but I won't. Derek, what's next?
Thank you. Too late. You already said it. Portal Companion Collection launch trailer on Switch.
I picked this up, and I haven't played Portal 1. I haven't Portal 1 on Switch yet, but I fired up Portal 2. It runs and looks immaculate.
It should. They're old games.
But dude, Derek, it looks great on that small screen.
Bet on that OLED screen, I bet it looks great.
Oh yeah, and it runs without a single hitch. And it runs better on Switch than it did on PS3. And it looks better on Switch than it did on PS3. It was $20 for $20. Yes, there is gyro aiming. Fat for asking if there's gyro aiming.
This is only
yes,
$20 for the two. I mean, that's
for
stupid.
both of them. That's
if you've not played these games, I mean,
stupid deal.
The two Portal games are
stone cold classics. I mean, you're talking about two of the great, especially with Portal 2. You're talking about one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah.
From not just a gameplay perspective, but a writing and voice acting perspective. I feel like
GLaDOS was the kind of what kicked off the sarcastic robot.
Yes.
In video games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So influential.
Shodan was a murderous robot. GLaDOS was a snarky murderous robot.
GLaDOS was a passive aggressive robot.
Yeah, and that's the best kind of robot.
Can you be? What happens if you go a step in aggressive past, like aggressive? Is it like passive murderous robot?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, because it's about science. You monster.
Yeah.
But if you are out there listening to this and you have not played Portal 1 or 2, Portal 1, this package, which includes both the Portal games, includes all the DLC for Portal 2 as well.
You should play the first one before the second one. I think the second one's heavily enhanced by having played the first one.
You should. This also has all of the special co-op stuff with Peabody and Atlas included.
Yeah.
So you are getting... for $20, this is a fucking no-brainer.
I'm just thinking of the finale of Portal 2 again. I'm not going to say because there's somebody in chat who has not yet played Portal 2 yet, but
the orchestra,
the unspoken last Portal you need to place is so good.
Oh yeah.
Space.
It's so good. It's such a good game.
Portal. Oh god, just like Vicky, Portal 2 is Vicky's favorite game of all time. And so the minute I picked up Portal on Switch, she was like, "Give me that Switch, hand it over." I'm so glad it's there, Derek. I'm so glad this game is available on Switch.
Portal in VR.
No, that's too much.
That's happening.
Too much. Huh. What was next?
Next, now this is one I'm very interested in, is Harvestella.
Jeff, you need to pay attention to this.
Yeah, Harvestella is Square Enix putting their spin on the farming simulator, life sim fantasy, the Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Rune Factory, Animal Crossing kind of genre. So it looks like money. Like they have put money.
They put some.
Why did I think it was like a JRPG or something?
Well, there's definitely going to be some JRPG-ish elements. I mean, there's it's got more in common with Rune Factory, which is very specifically Story of Seasons, Harvest Moon, but fantasy and with some like combat and dungeon crawling. Okay, Harvestella is on Steam at least as well.
Jeff, pull up some images of this game, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I think I'm trying really hard to be less shallow these days. I won't lie. I saw it and my brain went anime, and then
watch the trailer when you get a chance. Yeah. It's if you're gonna be.
It looks beautiful.
This looks like the first big potential shakeup of that like farming lifestyle type game that we've seen in a very long time, because apparently the last several games in this format have not really been big improvements over. It's kind of everything's peaked with Stardew Valley, it sounds like.
The artwork is so fucking good. Like I'm looking at it now.
It looks like money.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous. Yeah. Is it Switch exclusive or is it all platforms?
It's at least also on PC. There is a Steam page. So it'll be coming to more.
I'll keep my eye open for it.
I need to see more, but like I'm curious.
Yeah, this looks fucking great. This is probably the biggest, most pleasant surprise of the Direct for me.
I would say so.
Because nobody knew what the fuck this was. And it's coming out November 4th worldwide.
It's coming soon.
Yeah. Coming out soon. And the only consoles listed are Switch and PC. So
we'll
guys,
see. It's Square. I mean, I could see it hitting other consoles.
Probably at least PlayStation.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely one to keep a fucking eye on right here.
Now, the last piece was kind of interesting. So we got our announcement that the last 3 Persona games, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal, are all coming to Switch. I guess the only reason that wasn't announced before now is because they were obligated to announce them at a Nintendo Direct. But yeah, so Persona 5 will be hitting in October right alongside the other systems, and no dates on Persona 3 and 4. So here's the thing. It doesn't fucking matter what system you have. You're going to be able to play all 3 of the, like, well-regarded Persona. I like Persona 2. I'm not getting into that fucking shit. The like, recent Persona trilogy. We'll say that.
Eternal Night or Innocent Sin, Derek?
It's Eternal Punishment.
Or Eternal Punishment, sorry. Eternal Punishment or Innocent Sin? I'm an Eternal Punishment, man.
Man, both of those games are a fucking drag in terms of difficulty and grinding.
They are.
So neither. I'm gonna hot take it and say neither. I like the writing theme. I'm not getting into it. Fuck it. Persona on just about every system. Are you fuckers happy now?
So here's the weird thing about this. I find it strange that Persona 5 is coming before the 2 actual games that were designed for handheld systems.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Like, I think in a lot of cases, I think the more recent games are easier to port because they're on like a more modern. I think it's just, it's easier to port something from that's a PS4 game to Switch than bringing these, especially something like 3. Yeah. Which I'm sure needed some extensive work.
Well, it's interesting because 4 Golden is on PC.
Yeah, 4 Golden's been on Steam for a while.
3 is not.
Okay.
Are these the same versions of 4 Golden that's on Steam, or are they updated even beyond that?
Okay. I'm assuming it's just going to be the Steam version.
Yeah, which is fine.
I assume that 3 Portable will just be an upscaled, prettier version of 3 Portable, and 5 Royal will be pretty indistinguishable from its PS4 version.
Yeah, I mean, it ran on. I mean, dude, people forget Persona 5 was a PS3 game. It's going to run fine on Switch.
Yeah, yeah. It might be 720p, 30 frames per second, whatever, but it'll run.
I don't need a 60 frames a second Persona 5.
I'm just glad people can play, and I hope it means that Persona 6 will be multi-platform. I'm going to agree with Fat for All in chat, and this is a problem that came back to the first time that these were announced to be coming to all platforms. What was it? Xbox, right? Back in the Xbox showcase. It's very weird. I get why it's Persona 3 Portable and not FES, because the portable version is infinitely more playable since you can actually control your party members. But it seems so weird that they couldn't find a way to just fuse portable and FES, right? Why could they not just put the FES content in Persona 3 Portable?
I mean, at that point, you're kind of making a new game, though, right? Like,
I mean, but why are we still in this situation where you have to pick between 2 weirdly different versions of Persona 3?
Yeah.
One with more content and an epilogue that expands on the story versus one that's playable.
I'm glad that it's Persona 3 Portable, to be perfectly honest with you, because it is more playable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't have the 3D exploration because it's the portable version. So
yeah, so I'm
it's going
good with
to
that.
feel archaic, but is what it is.
P4G, of course, one of the greatest RPGs ever made.
Oh yeah, the best. The
fact that this
game.
is for sure. Yeah, I agree. Not to take anything away from Persona 5. Persona 5 is fantastic.
Right.
But P4G is the absolute pinnacle of that franchise thus far.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is going to be playable now, literally, I believe, Derek, this means it's playable on everything.
Yeah.
On every
PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch. If you have a modern gaming thing, you can play this.
It's going to be on PS4 as well if you don't have a PS5.
Right.
It's available on literally everything. It is now the Resident Evil 4 of RPGs. You can play it fucking anywhere. I'm sad that it took this fucking long. After all of the Derek, how many surveys would you say that Atlas? How many times did Atlas say, "Do you want these games on Switch? Do you want them on Switch? Do you want them on Switch? How bad do you want them on Switch?"
Blocking the memory out.
Do you want them on Switch? Like, yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is fucking fantastic. Jeff, I can say with certainty that Persona is not your bag.
You know what? Maybe not now, but I did play Persona 4 Golden, and I loved
really?
it.
Really? I did not know that.
Then you might dig Persona 5 as well. So.
It took me 5 years to finish it. I started it on
Persona 5 will take you
I
another
started
8.
it on my Vita in 2012. I actually finished it when I got my PlayStation TV because it was great. I could just play it on my TV, and that thing was like $80. So yeah, I played it on super easy. I finished the entire game 100% in under 40 hours, which nobody believes me. But I assure you, it happened. I cannot prove it. But it was loved it. Aside from, I mean, I know we don't have time to get into the the problematic elements of Persona.
Yeah, there's stuff that could have been done better.
There's the
I recognize
hot tub
it.
pool shit near the end or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Kanji
It's a little steeped
I think.
in fucking anime tropes, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
like,
aside from the god awful dungeons, again, playing on easy kind of mitigated that. I didn't have to do any grinding.
You might like Persona 5 because Persona 5 has handcrafted dungeons instead of randomized.
I played the first 7 hours of Persona 5 twice, and I loved it. And then both times I got to a point and realized I have 80 more hours. And it was like my whole body just went into stasis and I just collapsed on the floor.
Doesn't help that 5 does not have as
Christine
good...
came downstairs and drops on the floor just shaking.
Just boneless.
He's caught between worlds.
It doesn't help that 5 does not have nearly as good of a cast as 4 does. I do not think that their overall like character writing and dynamics are nearly as good as the cast of 4. The themes of 5 hit me real good because 5 hits you in a lot of those real like aggressive, like rah kind of places. 5 really embodies the like millennial and Gen Z feeling of rage towards the world we've been left.
If you're playing P4G and you pick Reese over Chie, you're a cop. Let's just let's just throw it out there.
We're not getting into fucking waifu wars on SDGC. We're not doing this.
I will say if the new versions of Persona 5 Royal are 60 FPS, I will. Well, I guess it probably would be on PC. I might finally
on
play
PC.
It.
I'm sure it's
on PC for sure.
But it's like these are native PS5 and Xbox Series X ports, right? So
I don't remember.
I don't remember actually.
It would be weird for it to come to Xbox like this fall and just be an Xbox One title, wouldn't it?
It's definitely Xbox Series.
Yeah,
it's definitely PS4, but I don't know if there's going to be a native PS5 or if PS5 will just run the PS4 versions. So
the direct talk took us longer than I thought it would actually.
We could just hit with like a disclaimer on the final thing. Honestly,
don't be a dick.
Don't be a fucking dick. Stop sending pictures of dicks.
Hold on. I actually want to tackle this next week. Because we have a guest coming up next week. And we also have hopefully Britt will be here. Stephanie Tinsley is going to be joining us next week. Very excited about that.
I haven't seen Tinsley since PAX East 2019.
Stephanie is one of the best. In the world of video games PR, Stephanie is one of the best.
Tinsley tends to be good folks. Yeah,
we are very happy to welcome her on the show next week. I do want to ask you a question, Derek, and Jeff. I know you didn't watch the direct as well, or I know you didn't watch the direct, but I'll ask you as well. What were we expecting to see there that wasn't? Because I feel like there was a lot there that everybody was kind of like, yeah, this is there for sure. And
if I say the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, am I stealing from you? Am I jinxing you?
Did you actually think those would be there?
I kind of thought maybe.
Yeah,
I thought
they still haven't put
stretch.
that great Chrono Trigger port from Steam on consoles.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pixel remasters.
But we got some cool Square Enix stuff, right? Seeing Harvestella and Treasures was really cool.
Here's the other thing though, Derek. Tactics Ogre. I think we were all expecting Tactics Ogre to be there. I think.
Yeah.
And that was a no show. I was expecting Bayonetta 3 to be perfectly honest with you.
I still don't know how that counts with Nintendo funding it, but who knows?
I mean, it's a platinum game, right? Like,
yeah, but remember they fully funded 2, and they might be fully funding 3.
I don't know. Who knows? The two big ones for me. Oh, and I was also surprised, Derek, that we did not get a release date for the Front Mission remake. I thought for sure we were going to get something on that. And that wasn't there at all. But the big omissions for me were, yes, I'm always asking for the pixel remasters, but I did actually think that they might be there. Yeah. It felt like the right time to do it,
It's like me guessing that we're going to see Pikmin 4 before every full Nintendo Direct.
Right.
They're legally obligated.
The pixel remasters are coming to consoles.
So it's just
a matter of fucking when.
I think I didn't actually hear about the Direct until it was already out.
They're not giving us time to announce these fucking things. They're like, it's in 3 hours. Be there or else.
But I think at the Xbox show, I was kind of taken aback that we didn't see the GoldenEye.
Yes.
And then we didn't see it here either.
And then I was talking with people. They figured, well, they're working with Nintendo. It's maybe going to be like a joint effort. So I was like, okay, it's probably going to show up at a Nintendo Direct. But now it's not here either. So it's I think there's some kind of James Bond anniversary or something later this year. So like maybe they're saving it for that. But I'm like, where? It sounds like this game exists.
It does. So, no, the achievements. The achievements.
I know the achievements are there, but like I'm wondering if they still haven't worked out all the licensing stuff to actually release it, because there are games that like just never get released. But it sounds like it's coming out at some point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would be either here or at the Xbox event, and the fact that it's not at either is kind of weird to me.
That was strange. I agree. That was a little weird. I can't.
Stellaby in chat just said the GoldenEye 25th anniversary is at Gamescom. So
maybe that's when we see
it. Gamescom. Maybe if it's not there, then I don't fucking know.
Gamescom is in August, right?
Also, the last thing I want to say is a lot of people are going to find out GoldenEye is not as fun as they remember it.
Yeah,
I still love it.
I love it
there's
too.
Some rose-tinted glasses with that.
It's a jankety fucking game.
Wait till you see how incredible that game has aged. That's going to be
like full fat milk.
What's funny though is that like my 14-year-old son is going to play GoldenEye. He's going to be like, "This is what you were fucking nostalgic over." Like, Dad, this sucks. You can barely play this.
Well, then
I'm
you just got to karate chop your child.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to give him the slappers, but yeah, that's anyway. So we are bumping up against our time here. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm just happy.
Good chill show tonight. Good chill show. I needed this.
Happy to be back with you guys after a week off.
Hard ass week at work. And for some of
a hard ass week in life, Derek.
Yeah, so this is that's true. This has been one of the worst weeks in something like 50 plus years. So
yeah, it's been one of those weeks. It's definitely been one of those weeks. We appreciate everybody for coming to hang out with us. Don't forget, we have Stephanie Tinsley joining us next Thursday, and also we were going to start it this past Sunday, but Finn was busy. But this coming Sunday. Every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Finn and I, we're bringing back Dual Daddies. We're going to make it a weekly live show. And we're going to be talking about gaming and parenting. Since Finn is not going to be able to be on the Thursday show for a while, we still wanted him to be able to get his podcast fix. And so permanently going forward, we are going to have Dual Daddies as a live show every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're a gamer and you're a parent, I highly recommend you join us live right here on twitch.tv/official SDGC. If nobody has anything else.
Not really.
Jeff, nothing else?
No, I'm good.
Well, in that case, I release you from your torment. And remember, now more than any time else, it is so important to remember that kindness costs nothing. Seriously. Take care of each other. We'll see you next week.
Burn it all down.